Mr. Goucher, I understand there's information about a new school in this area. What do you know? What can you tell us?
This is a great day for our community. We're here. We've got people from our SAC. We've got Jeff Lewis and Peter McDonald, who are the principal and vice principal of Charles P. Allen. As you know, over the years, Charles P. Allen has been exploding in population. The school was originally built around 1980. I believe it was built for about 850 students. Right now we are approaching 1,200 students there, and today both Minister Burnett and I are here to tell everybody that there is a new high school coming to Bedford. $34.2 million project. We anticipate somewhere in the vicinity of about 130,000 square feet to accommodate, I would suggest, probably 1,500 or so students. As you know, we are, without doubt, probably the only growth area in the Bedford-Hammonds Plains area in the school board system now. And this is just an absolutely wonderful announcement, which really our government is showing in support of the education system, and especially in this area, in a strong growth area.
Go ahead. Ask them about the election.
When do you expect this school to be constructed, and when should construction start, and when should it be completed?
Well, the normal process is to go through a site selection process that will involve the community. That'll happen over the next little while, and but it's anticipated that the school will be open by 2012, which is relatively a short time frame, but it's needed now. So there is work to be done: site selection process, design work, and tendering. But our hope and expectation is that 2012 will be the school year that will open for the new high school.
And of course, some people will think back to 2003, or 3 weeks before the election was called. There was a week-long series of school announcements back then. What should we read into the list of schools being announced today?
One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. I can tell you that in the community that I represent, in 2003 we announced a school for Kingswood Elementary. That school opened a couple of years later, and on time, on budget, and is now serving those students very well. It's not about election, it's about serving students. Some may point to the timing, but at the end of the day, we as government don't control the timing of the election. We expect and hope that the opposition parties will support our budget, and there won't be any need for an election this summer. And that's been what we've said to the media for the past number of months, and that's what we're preparing a budget that we believe is supportable, and Nova Scotians will support as well.
Well, why announce the schools now instead of in the budget?
It's just part of the process. You announce the schools when the minister reaches a conclusion on her work that she is doing in the department. She's reached that conclusion in the last few days, and this is no different than every process that's unfolded, in the past. It's always done this way.
And I think it's important to note that the 2003 process, which the minister was speaking of with regard to one of the schools, has just concluded. And the conclusion of one is the start of another. And this particular process, I believe, is about a 7-year process. It's a $300+ million program that will see $165 million or so going into renovations, and over $140 million into new schools, of which the Bedford-Hammonds Plains School will be one of the first ones out of the block, hopefully starting in 2010 with an occupancy date right now for 2020.
Both Len and I represent two communities in the province, probably in eastern Canada, maybe in all of Canada right now, that have the most likely to see substantial growth. When you look at the Hammonds Plains corridor and Bedford South, those areas, you're going to see substantial growth in the next couple of years. So this school is going to be large enough not only to handle the current population base, but to factor in that growth. And I don't think anybody could argue with the need for the school and the rationale. We met here as a group, the principals, the SAC members, and ourselves about a year ago, and talked about the potential growth in the area, the need for a new school. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud to be here today to be able to make this announcement. And I think it will serve this community and these communities very well for decades to come, like CPA Allen has for the last 2 to 3 decades.
The opposition parties will be asked today will you honor this list? Because we don't know. The voters will tell us who is successful in the next election, and it could be that your efforts will not be crowned with success, and someone else could form government. And in light of that, we will ask them, will you honor the promises made today? What do you think the answer to that question should be when we put it to Mr. Dexter and Mr. McKinney?
Without question, Bedford and the Hammonds Plains area through the Imaginary Schools process has been identified as the only growth area in all of HRM. So my answer to the question is implicitly they have no choice but to honor it. If they don't, then they're flying in the face of everything that education represents in this province. I've got volunteers in this room. I mean, we've got people, we've got Elaine Loney, David Finlayson, by the way, is the Halifax Regional School Board representative. And we've got Dan, we've got Bazim, who are on the SAC as well. Bazim is the chair of the CPA, SAC. These volunteers have done an incredible job. They've brought their issues forward to both Minister Burnett and myself, and also the school board, and we've responded. So in the future, I believe we're going to be the next government anyway, but if something happened and there was another government there, I really don't see any other choice for them. We are the growth area. We are the only area that is a growth area in the whole of HRM, and probably if you look at the province, we're one of the few in the whole province that we're at this point in time.
Do you think the announcement of new schools, does that have an impact with voters, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to think that it wouldn't, I mean, this is a good news story for anybody. This is a good news story for the whole community, whether it's Bedford or Hammonds Plains. I've got a grandson in grade 5. He's 11 years old. I would anticipate probably he'll be the second group of young people going into the new high school. And I'm really excited about that. And anybody living in any of the communities here in Bedford or Hammonds Plains that have got young people now that are going through the system in the grade 6 or 7 or grade 8, their young people will see this new high school. And that is a wonderful story. It doesn't matter what your political color is. It's just a great story.
Does it influence how they'll vote, do you think?
Yes. I think some people it will, other people it won't. It's just, like I said, it's a good news story. It doesn't matter whether you're liberal, whether you're conservative, or whether you're a New Democrat. It's a great news story. To those individuals who are, some of them it won't matter, some of them it will.